we just have no industry in Morrow County. There's nothing here, there's just no jobs. You know, you're going to go outside the county, or you're going to work in Morrow County for probably minimum wage.
The job market here in Morrow County isn't near as big as what it used to be. I think people are traveling out of town to work, and I just don't think that there's the income that there used to be here.
People are losing their jobs. That hurts a lot. I mean, and especially with the small little communities we got around here, it makes it harder and harder for people to have a job and be able to support their family without wasting it all on fuel and everything else.
About 70% of our working people drive out of the county to go to work. So of course the price of fuel has taken a lot of their extra income because they're driving to Columbus or, you know, to Marion even.
Well, you know, the housing situation is not a good thing. I don't know how these people afford rent. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I own my home. I don't know how people can afford to pay rent, buy a car, pay your insurance, and eat. I don't know how you do that.
Because we don't have a lot of industry, when people do get jobs in our county, they're usually for retail or fast food, so they're not always the higher paying jobs. So we have a lot of people working, but they're just still struggling.
When we think about food insecurity, a lot of times we think about the quantity of food they have access to. I'm also very interested in the quality of food that folks have access to.
Well, food's high. If you go to the store, food is terribly high.
Meat is getting pretty expensive.
It's just not the chicken, it's the beef. I mean, the beef is outrageous.
People that have come in here, you know, they had a choice. Could I buy groceries, or am I going to buy fuel oil? Well, now this time of year, figure.
I also sit on the board of the Salvation Army, and I see it that there's a lot of calls that come to them for prescription needs because people are having to pick between prescriptions and food.
And it just snowballs. They, you know, scrimp on this, and then the electric gets shut off, and that they lose the food they have. So people, and they don't always have a lot of support.
You know, it's like, okay, I got this much money, but I got this much food. They really got to eat, but they really need clothes. You know, it's really hard.
We paid what bills we had to pay, and the taxes and all the things. We had to get help, you know, some way.
We've worked really hard with helping people with transportation needs or gas, because that is a big, you have to have a car to maneuver around in Morrow County.
We do have some folks who, based on where they live, may be living in a place remote enough, given their transportation situation, that getting to the store can present its own set of challenges. Getting someplace where they can get and can afford good food presents some challenges. I don't think that most people realize that there are school districts in the county where half of their kids are on free or reduced lunch programs. And when you think about that, they're getting a good meal at school, which makes the quality of that meal so important.
They have certain food that they're allowed to get, and it's nutritional food. You know, it's not bad food, but they would be able to get different kinds and more if they were paying for it. So
we would like to try to do something with summer, because I know a lot of people count on the schools to keep their children fed, and we'd like to focus maybe and try to do a little bit more in the summer.
To help kids to be able to continue to have food throughout the summer. That I think is going to help the education piece. It'll obviously help the income piece and the health piece. I mean, it's just going to hit it all.
When you have statistics like 50% of our kids are on free and reduced lunch, that's telling about food insecurity.
In Morrow County, we have several food pantries, and a couple of them offer a meal before their pantry. And people, it's the Trinity Methodist Church, and they have at the end of the month a Friday evening, and they serve a meal, and they have a food Stretch Your Food Dollar class that's provided through the Extension office, and then they hand out food.
It was great because they did serve a little meal before we went through the food pantry. I think it was like Thanksgiving or something like that, so it was really good, and the food was good, so yeah, it was a nice experience.
I do see civic groups. I see things like United Fund. I see the Senior Center work on the Meals on Wheels program.
The food pantries in our county work so closely together to try to spread out our services throughout the month so that no matter when somebody needs food, there is a pantry that is open and available.
The stuff that is left over, we take to like a apartment complex for seniors, and we do hand out bags to them. Yeah.
Those who can't get out and get help. You know what I mean? Those are ones that are stuck in a senior home. Yeah.
In talking with people on the phone, I do find out, it doesn't seem to me like in our initial conversation when they call, they just typically ask for food. I sometimes try to talk to them a little bit to see what else we could help them with that could maybe free up money for them to get what they need.
Where you can meet need on other areas, you're lightening the load on a family's budget, which ultimately helps the hunger issue.